Hello Exiles, and welcome to my second part of my Act Guide series, where we're going to go through the acts and we're going to steam through them very quickly to try and get through them as fast as possible. Now, if you've only just stumbled across this video and you don't know where the Act 1 video is, I will put a link up in the top right corner now, so you can go and watch from the beginning if you want for Act 1, and obviously you can then start from there. If you want to carry on, let's crack on into Act 2. Now, in Act 2, as you know, you will have just come through the boss arena here, and obviously you'll get to the waypoint. It's obviously at this point you can then you usually just head in a north direction, and you will then find usually there's a kind of a mini boss, which is like it looks like a warrior. When you see the warrior, you want to go right. There we go. So when you see this camp, it's actually this little campfire here. When you see this campfire here, there is usually a warrior here, but I think I've just killed him. But obviously then you just go right, and you then just go to the door, which then takes you to the encampment. Once you're in the encampment, there isn't really much to do in here, you know, in terms of speaking to anybody. You're not going to get any rewards. So the first thing that I usually do is literally just head to the right and head to the old fields. Now, there is a bit of... this is the way that I do it. Now, there are other ways of doing this. There are people that like to go to the left hand side to try and pick up the Alira. So some people like to pick up Alira first. So what they like to do is they like to go and kill Oak first, and then go and go and help Alira, and then they will then come back and do this bit. It's entirely your decision which way you want to go. I'm just doing in the way that I know is the most linear to me, and the reason why I do it this way as well is that I usually try and box off the entire right side of the map so that I don't need to touch it again and then go all left. Okay, so first zone you get into is this zone, which is called the Old Fields. Now, within this zone there is a cave. Sorry, just to mention, we are going to be following the path on the floor. Can you see this like paved path? So if you follow this paved path, okay, it will then literally lead you to the exit. Now, there is another zone in here which has a door. Now, which is this here, the den, okay? Now, because we found it, I'm going to do it. Now, typically, if you had not found that, what we advise you to do, or what I would advise you to do, is when you get to the end of the zone, when you get to the crossroads here, put a portal down, okay? And we will obviously explain that in a minute. So, first things first you want to do is obviously you want to go in the den. Now, the reason for this is if you want a secondary movement speed flask. This is entirely optional. So if you want a second movement speed flask, a quicksilver flask, then this is how you would get it. So you literally run through this, you have to kill this big great white beast here, which we've just done, and then when you go back to town, you will then be able to pick up that as a crest reward. Now, it does usually take you back out right near the entrance where you've just done. Now, you've got two options here. You can either go back and go and get your flask, so then you can then run through this zone twice as fast, or you can just carry on the way we were, because you can see exactly where you've been now. It's entirely up to you. Or you can another thing you can do is when you find the den, put a portal down right next to it, okay, run straight past it, get into the crossroads. Once you're in the crossroads, you then want to then run all the way along the path, and you want to get to the waypoint here. When you're at this waypoint, you can then take it back to town, take your portal, go downstairs. Once you've done whatever needs to be done, you can then always, because it spits you out right near town, you can then go back to town and jump straight back to this waypoint. That is usually the fastest way to do it. It's entirely up to you how you want to do that. Now, in terms of where you want to go, now we are at the crossroads here, so as you can see we can either go south, east or north. Me personally, and this is something that I have only just learnt in the last 3 or 4 months, is the best thing to do is actually go north. Now, the reason why is we will be doing the Chamber of Sins quest. So the first thing you want to do here is you just want to follow this path, follow it up, go up the ramp, keep going in the same direction, and then you want to go up the ramp here. There should be another one here, and then you want to then go into the room here, Chamber of Sins. Now, there is a trial in the Chamber of Sins that you will need to complete. In this zone, best thing to do is I usually, when I walk in, I'm just going to backtrack, sorry. when I walk in, I usually hug left and go south, and then when I can go right, I will do. Now, what I'm looking for is this big circular room right here. Now, this waypoint is always in the room, so you can pick up the waypoint. Now, the exit to the next level is always in the direction that the waypoint is facing. So if you look at the map there in the top corner, I'll put it if you look in the top right corner there, if you can see the circle, there's 4 paths coming out of this circle, okay? But the waypoint is on the right hand side of that circle. So that means that your exit is the right way, as in to the right. So you literally just follow it, straight line, and there's your door. You go downstairs. I think down here is where the trial is. Again, it can be anywhere. It usually can be up in the top right corner, top bottom left corner, top right corner. And in terms of finding the passageway to the monster that you have to kill, typically, I don't know why, but I always have a feeling it's in the top right corner. And in this example, it is in the top right corner. 9 times out of 10 for me, it is in the top right corner. What you are looking for is this long, narrow path. Can you see on the map there? There's a long, narrow path, and then there's a sharp left, and then it opens up with a gate. You'll see Piety on the right-hand side running past. Obviously, you can't see it right now. And then when you go up here, you then have to then kill this monster, which obviously I've just one-shot. You then pick up the device that would drop here, and at this point, you can then literally log out and go back to town. At which point then you can pick up your, if you want to pick up your Quicksilver Flask, you can do it then. And if you want to pick up your quest reward. Now the reason why we're doing Chamber of Sins first is you can pick up a special gem from Groost at this point. So you will get a Herald skill. So you will get either Herald of Ash, Herald of Anger, Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder. And that can sometimes be a nice damage spike for you. After that, next thing you want to do is you then want to go back to the Crossroads, and this time we're going to go south. Now this is literally just for the trial. We're not doing this for anything else other than the trial. So for speed, I would literally just run through this zone. I would just follow the path on the floor here. Can you see the path? You are looking for an archway that will literally go across your screen. When you get to the archway, you do an immediate right. So when I get to the archway, I'll show you. It should be in the next few seconds. Around about now. There's your archway. You see it? Then you do an immediate right. So you're going east. And then the door is always just over to the right. Then down here, I'm going to read this from one of the comments from the last video that I did last year. Someone's actually said, in the crypt, the trial is always in the top right corner. So we're going to test this theory out. So top right means that it should be down and up to the top right. So let's test this guy's theory out. Let's see if he's right. He could still be right. Look. Oh, top right. Well done. So do the trial. Once you've done the trial, you can then jump back out, log back to town, and then jump back to the Crossroads again. At this point now we are then ready to then take on our first bandit, which would be Caitlin. Again, you follow the path on the floor here till you get to the broken bridge. Now in the broken bridge, same again, follow the path on the floor. There is a lot of path following in this act. You keep following it. You will come across a waypoint at some point in here, so I'm just going to speed through this. There's your waypoint. You carry on following the path. You will get to a point where it will then go up some stairs. That is then this bit here with the spikes. This is then the first bandit, which would be Caitlin. You obviously have the option to help him or kill him. Obviously, because I've already killed him, obviously I can't change it. Once you've picked up the Caitlin's quest reward, which will be the green item, again log out, back to town. That is now the right side of the map done. You don't need to touch it again. This is why I do it in this fashion, so then you don't need to go that way again. Now we're going to go to the left side, so we're going to go left now. Now the Riverways. Now, as I was saying before, this is entirely your decision what you want to do here. Me personally, I like to do oak, last. Now, just because I feel that the extra levels that you will get by running through this zone, going through the next zone, killing the Weaver, killing a Lyra, will give you more damage to then try and take on Oak, because Oak has a particular skill. He has a skill called Enduring Cry, which basically means that he will recover his health and regen his health every 10 to 15 seconds. So if you do a particular amount of damage to him, if you then don't have enough damage, he will just instantly heal it back again. So it's a case of I would rather have the damage to be able to kill him. Now, to be able to get to Oak, he is in the Wetlands. As you can see, the waypoint here, obviously all I did was just follow the path all the way. There are these two pillars with two spikes on. Can you see this? I'm just going to get rid of these monkeys. See these two pillars with two spikes on? That is your guide. And as you can see on the floor here, there is a path that has been kind of an overgrown path on the floor there. Can you see? It's very faint. If you follow that, it will always lead you to the next zone, which is the Wetlands. But we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to come back to that. If you keep on following this path, it will then lead you to the Western Forest. Now, because I don't have a flash skill, like a movement skill, like Flame Dash or anything, I am going to have to take the long way around, just because I'm a numpty, and I just didn't take one. So it's just shield charge with this build is just 10 times faster. There we go. Western Forest. Now in Western Forest, there's two things that you need to know from this. First of all, follow the path, as always. Follow it down until you get to the waypoint. Okay, so if you can see here, path is here and the waypoint is here. Now there's two things that I want you to remember, okay? First thing is, what side of the path is the waypoint on? It's on the left, okay? Second thing is this little torch here. You see this little standing torch here? We're going to be looking for one of them, and it's going to be on the left side of the path. And again, I will mention a comment from one of my last videos. Someone has put that Lyra is always on the same side of the road that the waypoint is on. So technically, Lyra should be on the left-hand side. Now, I didn't know that. I just knew that you had to find the first torch south of the waypoint that was away from the path, which would be this one here. So I would then follow this in this direction, and technically, Lyra should be over here when we find her. I think that was the wrong torch. Let me go back. Because I think the torch, yeah, that torch is too far away. The torch needs to be right next to the path. See, that one's not right either. There. Can you see that one? You see on the floor there's a path. If you follow that path, if I can see it, it's very, yeah, it's there. Is it here? Hold on. Yeah, here. So then you would then kill or help Lyra, whichever one you want to do. And then from here, you would then, first thing you do is you want to go all the way south. Okay? Now the reason for that is there is a skill point at the bottom. So again, go back to the path, follow it all the way down, and you need to kill the black guards, which are these guys here. Once you killed all them, put the emblem in the wall. And then you want to go back up north, back to where Lyra was. So Lyra was over here. Okay, you want to head in like a, what direction would you say that is? East direction. You want to head on the opposite side of the map, because that is where the Weaver's chambers will be. Now you are looking for spider webs. Can you see all these spider webs on the trees here? That is your main key. And you are then looking for the door for the Weaver's chambers here. It is always on the opposite side to where Lyra was. Okay. Now, I'm going to read a comment here from one of the previous videos. Someone's put, with the Weaver's chambers, you always want to go left until you hit a dead end and then go right. So we're going to try that. So we're going to go left, dead end, must be right. So we're just going to follow this. Now, Weaver's chambers is a bit of a crazy one, because there is a lot of dead ends. Now, I mean, a lot of dead ends. There is quite a lot of traps, and it may go on like this. See, like this is going on for quite some time, and then it may then just go into a dead end like that. And there's no way to know that it's going to do that. It's just one of them things. There's the door, by the way. I've just seen it, so we just have to get to it now. There we go. So then once you go in here, you would obviously kill the Weaver, pick up the Weaver spike. Again, you would then log out, log back in, and you would then teleport back to the Riverways. Now because we have done all of those objectives, we now should be strong enough to now go and kill Oak. So we're going to go follow this path between these two spikes and go and kill Oak, which is in the Wetlands. Now, Oak is obviously the last bandit. Alira was the second bandit. In here, Oak, I usually go in a straight line, straight north until I see it. Now, there is a little thing that I have learned from someone, again, from one of the comments here. He has put, for the Wetlands, the Vaal Ruins, which is the next zone, is always opposite to the bandit camp entrance. So if you have doors on the right hand side, then you would obviously pass the camp and run directly to the left. So there's a bandit entrance here, so I'm going to say that the entrance is going to be directly north, I'm going to say. So let's kill this guy first of all, and then we're going to go round and we're going to go directly north, which is supposedly what this is. He's saying that it should be straight up here, and would you look at that? Well done, whoever put that comment. That is a very good comment. Now at this point, you've now killed all 3 of the bandits, so you can now go back to town and go and pick up your 2 passive skill points, which will then should give you a massive either damage boost or defensive boost, depending on where you're putting your points. Next thing you want to do is obviously you want to speak to Eramir, who will then give you a little apex. Okay, make sure you take that. Once you've done that, come back to this zone and you want to then enter the Vaal Ruins. Now the Vaal Ruins is probably one of my most hated zones, because it is an absolute nightmare. Now I thought that I had figured this zone out, and I have ran it quite recently, and it decided to just completely go against everything that I knew. Previously it used to be in like an S shape, and then I did a few maps, I did a few act carries in Affliction League, and it just decided to do whatever the hell it wanted. It didn't follow the pattern that I was used to in any way, shape or form, and it just decided to just do a number on me, which I was not happy about. So, but in this instance, it is going to go all the way around in a big circle, I think, back towards the door, yeah, and then it's going to head to the right, I think. Let's have a look. I think it is going this way. Yeah, we go. So in your playthrough, you will have a ball here. Okay, you would obviously then click the ball and go in. As soon as you go through the first archway, this first doorway here, take your first left through the door, up the stairs, and you'll then get out. Once you're in the Northern Forest, first thing you want to do is you want to just stick to the water, stick to the coastline. You will then get to the waypoint. Keep following the coastline and do not deviate from this coastline unless you are forced to by trees, which it sometimes does do. If you are forced to do that by trees, then follow it back inland, but stick to the trees. But this is staying up the coast, just follow it all the way up the coast till you get to the Caverns, which is here. Now, the Caverns, I call this the Caverns until you get to a certain point. This is very linear. There's literally only one way to go. It's just a case of cross the roads, cross the bridges. It's the same as I think it's the Underground River map, I think. I always get them mixed up. But you literally just follow this. Nice and straight path. Just keep following it until you get to an entrance of the pyramid, which is here. You would obviously then go in here, pick up the waypoint, and obviously then open the door. If you have not picked up the apex, you will not be able to open that door, I don't believe. Or if you've not handed in your bandit's quest, you will not be able to open that door. Okay? Now, this level is still part of the Caverns, but this is the base of the pyramid that you are trying to then enter. So you're going into the Vaal pyramid here. This first zone, I have had so many people ask me, how the hell do I navigate through this zone? I have no idea. I have tried to do it. I've tried to see if there's any indicators. I've tried to do if there's anything on the walls, on the floor, if there's anything that would help. No. I just usually just head in a north direction, and this time I've got it. Now, once you've got to the ancient pyramid door, every floor above that, as per all the previous comments that I've seen previously, it follows the same policy and the same pathing as the flooded depth, in terms of that it's on the opposite side of where you enter. So if we entered here at the bottom, the door would be at the top. If we entered on the left, the door would be on the right. It's always on the opposite side. Okay, so if we just have a quick look at this, so I'm going to say that this is at the bottom, so the door is going to be at the top, and I'm going to say that this is a dead end. I just can feel it. Oh no, maybe not. There we go. So nice straight line. This one is at the top, so I'm going to say that the door is, oh no, wait, no, that's on the far left, so the door is going to be on the far right. So I'm going to head towards the right. There's the door. I just saw it then. It popped up. If you look at where it is on the map as well, compared, look, it's a straight line right across. Okay. This one is far right, so that means the door is on the far left. There we go. And then pyramid apex, you would obviously then get to the top, click the altar, wait 20 minutes for the boss to spawn. This is sometimes, if you fast, a quick pee break time. It does take, I think it takes something like 16 seconds, I believe, to spawn him. So if you're quick, you could potentially go for a quick pee break, but I wouldn't risk it. Once he spawns, then kill him. Obviously you won't be able to kill him as quickly as I can. There we go. And then come over here. Now there is two things here. Some people say that you will get the waypoint on the other side of this door if you literally just log out and go back to town. If you then look at the waypoint device, you will then have Act 3 City of Sarn. So if you've got a fast PC and fast connection, it will be faster to log in, log out, okay? Or log out, log in, sorry. If you would rather wait, then you will literally just pop out that door and you will then get to the waypoint. And that concludes Act 2. It is a very... It's a bit all over the place in terms of that you got to go to the right side, then you got to go to the left side, but it's a case of that if you're working in a party, so let's say you're in a party of 2, that has its advantages because your colleagues could go to the right hand side, do some of the objectives, give you a shout when they have got to the part that's needed for you to then jump in, and you can then portal in, do the objective, and then go back to where you were. It does help Act 2 if you are in a party. If not, it will take you a little bit longer. Other than that, that's pretty much it in terms of Act 2. If there's anything that I have missed, and there's anything that you think that is obviously of worthwhile putting in the comments, throw it in the comments. I'm more than happily willing to learn, as I have done. I've got a list here of stuff that was raised, which I have brought up as we have gone through them, and obviously I've gone through every single one here that was raised on all of the previous comments to kind of improve on the last video. Also, if you have enjoyed these videos and you are enjoying them again, then throw us a subscribe, throw us a like. It will greatly help the channel in terms of making it grow and helping it grow. And if you know any of your friends that's struggling, or maybe a new player that needs help getting through the acts with a quick guide, then throw them this video and recommend my channel, and I would be very much appreciated. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we will do the Act 3 video, and we will carry on from where we've left off here. Until then, thank you for watching, and stay sane.